Hi, I'm Pat Cumming. I'm a fiber artist who tends to fall down very many rabbit holes in investigating fiber arts. I've recently started wood turning, and today I'm going to show you how to make an abrasive polishing wax that is very similar to axe polishing whatever. And I'd like to thank Kim Tippin for her video, who inspired me to try and make my own. So, thanks. Here are the ingredients I will be using. Food grade mineral oil, purchased from Amazon. Dharma Pumice Medium grit for the abrasive. And I'm using white natural beeswax pellets. The first thing we'll do is set up a double boiler. And really, a double boiler is just really a pot with water, and into which we will place the other pot, which is where we will be melting our beeswax. So first we'll add, this is 4 ounces of beeswax beeswax pellets, and I'm going to hook you back up to my tripod so that I can get the rest of it in. So hang on just a minute. Now, one of the things I must caution about is that you should not be, any tools that you use in making this, although this is all food grade products, I would not reuse any of this, even no matter how well you clean it. I would not reuse any of these utensils for cooking food again. Designate these to your special non-food tools. All right, so now we'll make sure I've got the right one going. Yes, this is the front. And now we'll start warming up the water underneath. And as this water warms up, it's going to warm the beeswax in the inside pot, and it will begin to melt. And I'll come back as soon as that's done. As the water warms up, you'll see that the beads will start getting soft, and they're going to start melting. It is not, the reason you use a double boiler for these things is because you do not want to put direct heat on the to melt the wax. By doing so, you can actually scorch or burn the wax. Not only that, you can also start a fire, and that's the last thing that any of us want. So there we go. You see my little setup. It's just a pot within a pot with hot water in it. Okay. Once it starts to melt, we'll be able to add the mineral oil a little bit at a time and keep blending it together. Okay, this is taking a little while, so I'll be back. As the wax begins to melt, you'll start seeing that you can start adding the mineral oil and keep mixing. This way, and I'm just using a little spatula that I have. It's an old one, so I've decided to use that because stirring is going to be one of the most important parts of this, because once everything has melted, which I am just about at that point, and so I can shut the gas off, I will, as you can see, I'm going to just remove the one pot from the other, from the water. And now I have it as just a handle. I will show you. Let me just flip my screen. Hang on. Well, this is embarrassing. I hit the wrong button and lost the recording of when I was adding the pumice powder to the liquefied wax and oil. At that time, I also placed the bowl of the mixture into a pot filled with ice cubes. This will help speed the cooling time. Well, let's continue on. As you can see, it's beginning to thicken, finally. It does take a little while. Setting it up with the ice actually does speed things along quite a bit. So we're just going to keep on stirring now until the whole thing thickens up. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to be transferring it into these jars. These are quarter pint quilted canning jars, because I figured even if it's warm, it'll stay, it has a good seal, and although I'm not going to be using this immediately, it will stay good. It'll prevent anything else from anything from growing or getting into it. Okay, so we're getting close. I'll be back in a few. Once it's cooled down, you'll see it thickens quite a bit. So no longer is it that very loose, liquidy solution that you had before. This is what's going to help keep that pumice in suspension for while you're doing your sanding and all. So now I am going to use my little spatula, which is why I decided to use a spatula instead of a whisk, which can be used also, to fill my jars, which I'm making a mess of my countertop with right now. But everything is room temperature, so it should be easily handled at this point. Okay? I will be back once my jars are finished.